What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. You're now tuned in to Two Real for Mainstream. And boy, oh boy, do we got some very important, vital key news coming out of the Indiana Fever roster and franchise. So apparently, you guys, as we all know, that Caitlin Clark has been very, very close to receiving possibly a suspension from the league. She unfortunately, we all know that she picked up her sixth technical foul when they matched up against the New York Liberty. When I believe it was about maybe only like 30 seconds into the game, there was a critical play where she was justified. It was a foul, but unfortunately, the refs hit her with a tick, and that gave her a sixth foul. I mean, her sixth technical foul. Now we all know from the contract, her fifth technical foul that she picked up in the game versus the Golden State Valkyrie, that they the fortunate Indiana Fever lost. But that game was very crucial, and that's one we saw a very viral technical foul that Caitlin Clark received because she went in on the referee that night. But unfortunately, Caitlin Clark has six fouls right now. I mean, six technical fouls. So Caitlin Clark apparently is now exactly two technical fouls away from a mandatory one-game suspension after picking up her sixth technical foul of the 2026 WNBA season. The technical foul was assessed just 90 seconds into the Indiana Fever's game against the New York Liberty on July 18, 2026, when Caitlin Clark vocalized her frustrations to an official over a missed illegal screen call. Under under the WNBA regulations, season rules, accumulating eight technical fouls triggers an automatic one-game suspension without pay. Following the eighth technical, players receive an additional one-game suspension for every two subsequent technicals. So basically, when you hit eight technicals, you receive a one-game suspension. Then when you receive 10 technicals, you receive another game suspension. Then 12 games, another. So it's like basically like in twos. But apparently, Clayton Clark is very close. She has six fouls right now, and she's also uh, suffering a $1,000 fine for the technicals, the total technicals she has right now, because from four texts to seven texts, you automatically can receive $1,000 fine, and Caitlin Clark has six. So now, what I do have to say about this, you guys, about the six technical foul that Caitlin Clark picked up, this is going to be very tricky and very important for the Indiana Fever. The Indiana Fever is going to figure out what are they going to do, because the Indiana Fever still apparently has a game before the we know the All-Star break is what the All-Star break is coming up, and I believe it's this Friday when the All-Star weekend starts. But I believe the Indiana Fever still has a game left. Now, as I was saying, you guys, once again, the Indiana Fever, they have one game left before All Star Weekend. The All Star Weekend starts from July 24th through the 25th. We'll have the 3-point contest and the skills challenges on Friday, which will be the 24th, and on the 25th, we'll have the All Star game, the big game. Now, unfortunately, as I said, for the Indiana Fever, they have a game on Wednesday, July 22nd, where they will be at home playing up against Connecticut Sun. That's the one game they have, which will be on Wednesday. The All Star weekend starts on the 24th. And closes up out on the 25th. Now, the problem with this is the reason why I said that the Indiana Fever has to be careful, because the Indiana Fever needs to decide whether or not Caitlin Clark is going to play on this game coming up on Wednesday, where they'll be hosting the Connecticut Sun. It's very important, because if Caitlin Clark picks up another technical or even two technicals in this game, which that's rarely happens, but what are the odds? Let's say if Caitlin Clark picks up two technicals in the game against the Connecticut Sun, she's automatically suspended for a game. Now the question is, if you reach the technical fouls, will you be suspended for the All Star game, or will you be suspended for the game following the next scheduled actual of their season game, which will be against they'll be heading up to Seattle to play the Seattle Storm, which will be Tuesday, July 28th. That's the question. So for you guys in the comments, I got questions for you guys. Because I can't quite remember. But if you reach the technical foul limit and you're suspended, are you suspended for the next game that you're supposed to play in, or the next season game? Because the All-Star weekend is coming up, like I said, as we know. So will she be able to play in the All-Star game? Then she will have to be suspended for their game against the Seattle Storm. If that's the case, that's cool, that's fine. But like I said, even if she's able to play in the All-Star game, but she misses the next game due to suspension against the Seattle Storm were they will be on the road going to Seattle. The problem is that when she reaches her technicals of that suspension, then it'll be every two technicals, and you still have 18 games left in this season. If she receives every two more technicals, she receives another game suspension. So I think the Indiana Fever definitely they have to really decide what's going to go on here with Caitlin Clark, how they're going to play this. Are they going to sit her out for the game on Wednesday against the Connecticut Sun, and then she'll have a little more rest, and then go into the All Star Weekend, play All Star Weekend, and then she come and actually plays in the following game. On Wednesday, will it be up against the I think on Tuesday, where they'll play the Seattle Storm. That's the questions. I think it's important, you guys. I'm curious to know what you guys think about that because this is very, very important. And another thing was very tricky about these suspensions. The problem is if Caitlin Clark gets suspended and then she starts getting, every other two technicals, she could most likely miss multiple games and then for the rest of this, the remaining games of the 18 games in this season. And it's going to, yeah, like I said, if Caitlin Clark reaches the limit, that eighth technical, she gets suspended, and then every other two she starts getting suspended. The Indiana Fever definitely they cannot have that because right now they are actually, I believe they're second in the Eastern Conference. The Atlanta Dream is above them, but like I said, you still have 18 more games left, and as I told you guys in a previous upload, arguably the Indiana Fever has the hardest, difficult schedule left for the remaining of the season. So it's going to be very crucial that they have Caitlin Clark and that the rest of the team is going to be playing fluently and everything. So I'm curious to know what you guys think. Do you think that Caitlin Clark is going to get suspended uh, before All Star break, or will she reach 8 technicals before the All Star break, or will the 8 technicals fouls come after All Star break? And after that, do you think she is going to be suspended for other games by every two other technical fouls? So how many? I'm curious to know. And spam in the comments. Let me know how many suspension games do you think Caitlin Clark will get before the season is up, or by the time the season's up? How many suspensions would you think that she have? I want to appreciate you guys once again for tuning into the channel. You guys been showing much love, and we're still on the road to 1,000. So make sure if you're not subscribed to the channel, click that subscribe button and ring that notification bell so you'll be always up to date when we drop new content. And special shouts out once again to the Caitlin Clark Nation. We're going to keep going and we're going to keep making this thing going no matter what happens and no matter where Caitlin Clark ends up. We're going to always be there supporting her. So I appreciate you guys once again. One love. Until next time, y'all already know what to do. Peace.